Here are the tests on my 1973 Eljer Emblem. It is set to the water line in the tank, and it is using custom Eljer parts. So I will show you guys a flush, and then let's see how it does on tests. The flush looks strong and effective, and we'll see how effective it is once I finish doing all these tests. For the first test, let's see if it can take a washcloth. This toilet has no trapway obstructions or mineral buildup that I know of, so it should do perfectly. As expected, it did perfectly. Now, let's see if it can take a grocery bag. I'm expecting a perfect pass on this one as well. And it's almost done filling, so let's see how it does. Another perfect pass. Now, let's see if it can take the washcloth and the grocery bag together. I think it'll do fine, honestly. It seems like a good toilet to me. Well, I wouldn't really call that fine. I'm going to go ahead and let that fill up, and I'm going to give it a second flush and see if it can pass that the rest of the way. It might have clogged because the bag has air in it, or it might just be too much. It took it without help, but it also overflowed, so I would still call that a fail. However, I am going to test it again since it was able to take it without help, and I'm going to see if it can take it without overflowing. That did awesome. Now, let's see if it can take a dish towel. This is going to fail, without doubt. Yeah, you know what? I don't even think it's worth trying to make it go through. It just doesn't have the ability to pass this one. So, since it can't pass my dish towel, I'm going to try my old dish towel that's been worn away by many flushes over the months. This one might pass. Or it might not. So it can fit through the trapway, but it can't take it on its own. I would still say this toilet is a pretty good performer. It failed once on the washcloth and grocery bag, and it passed once, but on the time it failed, it actually took it, but it overflowed. So this toilet is a good performer. I remember several years ago I tested one from 1977, and it was nowhere near as good. I don't know what changed, or if something was physically wrong with that one, but I'm quite impressed. I really like the Eljer Emblem, and I'm glad they made them for so long. So now that we are finished with the performance tests, let's move on to the flush tests. For the first flush test, let's see how it flushes with a dry bowl. I remember when testing my Hygean, it had trouble siphoning if the bowl wasn't completely full. Even if it had water in it, it would still have trouble sometimes. Plus the flapper closes on this one before the siphon, so I'm guessing that it will not siphon. It was weak, but sure enough, it siphoned. Now, let's see how it flushes with a clogged siphon jet. This toilet actually has a larger siphon jet than most. Most of the old toilets I test have a siphon jet that can be clogged with one paper towel, but this one required 1.5 paper towels bunched up in the siphon jet, and on top of that it's loose. So I'm expecting that the siphon jet contributes to most of the flushing power, and that means it will not siphon. But I said it wouldn't siphon before, and it did, so I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. That was a pretty smooth flush. It looked like the typical flush of a 5-gallon toilet, even though it was using more like 3.5. So that was pretty cool, and I like it. Now for the final test, let's see if it can take dirt. It's obviously not going to get the dirt that splashed up on the rim. And the flapper leaks, so it's already rinsing some off the side. So anyway, I think that it will do well on this. It might have bowl clearance issues, but I guess there's only one way to find out. I must say, bowl clearance issues are one thing this toilet definitely does not have. Would you look at how clean that is? That is amazing. As for the rinse, obviously it can't get up on the rim like I mentioned, but the rinse looks very, very good so far. My gosh, this toilet has a really impressive flush. I bet you if I raised it to the top of that flush valve there, it would probably do absolutely perfect. Also, I didn't mention it before, but I installed the flapper backwards. As you can see, I had to connect another chain to it to make it reach all the way. But I am honestly really impressed by that flush. I did not think that it was capable of doing that. So now I'm going to give it another flush just to clean it out, and then I'll wrap up the video. So that is all for these tests. If you enjoy my videos, please subscribe and turn on notifications. It helps my channel a lot and I really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and see you guys in the next video.